Previously in Dragon's Maw. Wait, no, that's not right. We're not in Dragon's Maw at all. We're going back to a few weeks before those who would become the Dragon Maulers Incorporated arrived in Flametongue. You may have noticed at the time that Zen Karn, the Zebra Necromancer Novice, and Flotsam, the Filly Pegasus Demolitionist, had already met on the road and been traveling together for a while. You may have wondered if there was a story there. Well, that's the kind of story we're going to start exploring today. And while that story doesn't involve a whole lot of dragons and hordes and curses and cults, it's still the equestrian wasteland, and war never changes. This is the tale of the soon-to-be dynamic duo, Flotsam and Zen Karn. So, to start off, we'd have to talk first about the town of Greenfield and where it is in relation to the locations we know. Basically, as towards the southeastern part of Equestria, as you're getting into sort of the desert areas and whatnot, these dust bowls and whatnot that are left behind after the war, there's mostly what spans them as far as roads go is a bunch of railroads that used to span all over Equestria. And the way to kind of come towards the entrance to the Badlands, aka Dragon's Maw, is to either go south by way of Rambling Rock Road, or if you're starting a little bit west, you follow the train tracks east towards Dodge Junction, and then get onto Rambling Rock Road down south towards where there's a few more settlements, and then you get finally to Flametongue. Along the railroad tracks leading east, there's an abandoned station at one point, and to kind of the south of that, the only kind of town shelter for many miles is Greenfield, which is not terribly well named, considering it's in the middle of this sort of deserted, dusty Dust Bowl area. Sandstorms, dust storms are very frequent in this area. It's hard to grow crops and whatnot, but there are still signs pointing it out, and this seems to be where these people have decided to settle to build a little bit of civilization. Flotsam, you are the first. You arrive at Greenfield for whatever reason long before Xencarn does, and if you'd like, it'd be nice if at this point in Flotsam's story you could kind of talk about why she's traveling this way and kind of what's brought her here.
Flotsam, 10-year-old Bombfilly extraordinaire, has not too long ago left her home village town of Hayditch, where she lives with her adoptive earth pony father, big sister, and big brother. Things are fairly okay there for the most part. They're pretty out of the way, but more recently there have been a couple of disturbances. There was a slaver attack, which fortunately resulted in no fatalities, and also resulted in Flotsam getting her cutie mark. Yeah, when I say no fatalities in Hayditch's residence. The slavers, on the other hand, they got their asses handed to them with the help of some passing steel rangers. But as time wore on and Flotsam started to worry about the safety of Hayditch, not to mention she also learned about the treasure troves of technology rumored to be down in Dragon's Maw, she figured that the best course of action was to leave Hayditch, travel down to the Dragon's Maw, find what she could, and bring it back to protect her hometown. She naturally asked her family about this, and they outright forbade it because it would be too dangerous for her to travel on her own. So she wrote her sister a note apologizing and explaining that she had to leave, and then left in the middle of the night. She's been traveling by herself for a little while now, and has recently, in fact, arrived in Greenfield, looking to stock up on provisions and explosives.
It's also worth mentioning that it's getting late in the day, and either your options are either to kind of make camp out in the desert or find a place to stay in Greenfield.
She looks through her little baggie of caps and starts to wander around looking for somewhere that might look like an inn that could put her up for the night.
Well, first, actually, thanks for bringing up the equipment and caps.
Oh, gods.
Hold on a second. Let me just...
Alright, Spud, lay it on us. How many times have I been mugged?
Well, okay, so Flotsam, your starting equipment, more or less, is... Neither of you are... I'll just warn you right now, neither of you are doing too great on caps. Flotsam has about 145 bottle caps right now.
Oh.
You've also got in your equipment 2 rolls of magic bandages.
I'm going to mute while I type this up.
1 doctor's bag, basically a first aid kit. 6 meals worth of rations. Basically, we will be tracking, food and water consumption as well, but basically it'll just be how many meals can you make it through if you're eating 2 or 3 meals a day, and basically you just have 6 rations worth. You also have 12 of your fragmentation grenades. And besides that, you've got some miscellaneous junk that you've collected. Some broken guns that you're looking to sell for parts. About half a pound of scrap metal. A clipboard, paper, and some writing utensils. That about sums it up, unless you think there's anything worth adding.
Flotsam, this is less inventory and more equipped. Flotsam has made herself some homemade armor. Just what she was wearing back when we first started, Bid.
Right, yeah. So, yeah, anyway. So before you can actually get into the town is surrounded mostly by these very high scrap walls that are, have to be tall enough to keep a lot of the dust and sand out. Not all of it, it's almost impossible, but most of it, and also to protect against attack, to limit forms of attack. And there are actually guards up on the sections of the wall closest to the entrance that are, bulky enough for a pony to stand on. The armor on these guards isn't that great, and one of them even seems to be equipped with little more than a sharpened piece of wood. But they are guards.
Flotsam is going to approach.
One of them. Yes.
Hi.
Name.
Name? Flotsam.
Objective.
I need somewhere to stay for the night. Maybe sell some stuff.
Where are you
What's your
going?
name? Oh, Dragon's Maw.
All right.
Can I go in?
We need to check your equipment.
Okay.
Come up to the gate and one of our guards will look through your belongings.
Oh, okay, but I keep the grenades.
The guard addressing you doesn't really comment on this, kind of lets out a sharp exhale like, well, of course. But,
she blinks and makes her way over.
Alright, and, one of the guards, goes through your saddlebags and sees that indeed you have a dozen grenades in your saddlebags. The guard inspecting your belongings says, I hate having to say this to a filly, but if you cause any trouble, we're not going to go easy on you.
Me? Trouble?
You're...
I'll be careful.
Are you just are you just...
She points at her cutie mark.
So you actually use these grenades, you're not just selling them for caps.
What? No. I'll sell like the gun parts for caps, sure. I can't use those, unless people have stuff that wants repairs. Is there anyone who has stuff that wants repairs in this town? Because I could help with that, and I could use some caps. But no, the grenades are mine. I need to post stuff up with them. Not in town. That would be bad.
After trying to get a word in edgewise, the guard just sighs and says, go on through.
Thank you.
She takes her saddlebags back and heads on in.
Alright. The town inside the streets are very dusty and sandy, and the shacks are not of terribly strong construction. Many of them seem to have kind of tarps draped over them to cover holes in the roof or keep, dust and sand from seeping through. And the caliber of ponies you see in town as well does not seem especially strong. Roll perception.
Roll perception, you say?
Yes.
Let me just get to that part in my sheet. Perception is 11. I very nearly forgot to put in the D in D20. That would have been fun. Okay, 15.
Alright, with a 15, you notice that there's a pattern to the state of these ponies. It doesn't seem like, besides the guards, there are many that seem terribly fit, or even adult. It's mostly some elderly ponies, some younger foals that are really, by most standards too young to really contribute in terms of defense or skills, and some that look just kind of sick or decrepit, injured, limbs missing, whatnot. There aren't very many fit, able ponies in this town.
She kind of frowns slightly. Approaches one of the younger foals.
This younger foal is just kind of sitting on the porch of their shack, just kind of playing with some toy cars. Just going meow, meow. But
I like the cars.
He looks a little kind of bored, as if this is his only option to spend time at the moment. And then when you approach, he's like, "Oh, hey, it's been a while since we saw any of the kids in town."
Yeah? Don't people pass through that often?
Well, they do, just not usually foals our age, It's I don't know of any foals who'd like to visit from Dodge Junction, and anyone going that way is usually a trader or a prospector.
I'm gonna be a prospector.
His shoulders visibly sag at that. Oh.
What?
Then you're probably not coming back.
Sure I am. Excuse me. Sure I am. I've got protection. See?
She pats her armor, and then she pats her bag.
Well, I've seen some really armored ponies come through too, and either they don't come back or they do come back with basically nothing.
Well, I still gotta try. And I got wings, she flaps them, so I can fly away from danger. Kinda. A bit. I still need to practice. So, hey, is it safe here? I was looking for some place to spend the night and maybe do some trading.
Well, trading is probably fine. We got a lot of those, but I don't know if where you can stay. The closest, the inn we have is kind of packed tonight.
Oh, well, maybe I could stay on the roof.
There might be a big old dust storm you'd want to cover up, but...
Oh. Yeah, I was wondering what else the walls were for.
Hey, you're good. Do you know a thing or two about fixing stuff?
She nods eagerly.
Uh-huh.
Well, my dad has this machine pistol that hasn't worked in a long time. Do you think maybe you could take a look at it?
Oh my gosh, really? I'd love to. I have some spare gun parts that might work, but I'd need to see the machine first.
Okay, and he stammers and throws open the door of the shack. Dad! And this, kind of, sort of lanky stallion kinda comes out somewhat shakily. Just, yes? You need something?
Hello.
Hello, Philly? What's
Flotsam.
Flotsam. Alright, what's this about? Dad, she says she's good with mechanical stuff, and I thought she might want to take a look at at that pistol you got. What, the 10 mil submachine gun? I mean...
You have a submachine gun?
Well,
My sister has one of those. They are amazing. Not quite as good as the railway rifle I made her, but that was kind of special. It's a real shame that they got eaten by a radigator. But yeah, I could totally fix that. I have a couple of things that I think would work.
Well, I'd be willing to pay you for your efforts. And the
Oh my
and,
gosh,
and,
yay!
and the cult says, actually, since the inn's full and she needs a place to stay, maybe we could give her a sleeping bag.
Really?
And he kind of considers that and says, well, I don't know if we can really... You've had dinner, right?
Not yet, but I've got food with me.
Okay. I don't think we could really afford to really make things hospitable for you, but if you need a roof and a sleeping roll, we might be able to do that if you can... Well, even if you just take a look at it, tell you what, just, see, I haven't really been able to get, pay anyone to take a look at the old thing, so...
Are there not that many repair ponies in this town?
Well, they are, but they charge kind of a premium for that.
Okay.
I mean, they're
Well,
good. They're really good. They're worth the price if you need something, but,
Sure, but in a town it's good to help each other out, so make sure we're all prepared in case of, attack. But maybe you guys are okay and don't get attacked too much here.
Not really. We're not a super high value target, I'd say.
Good. That's good from that point of view, I guess. Well, always be careful though, right? You never know when. Yeah, I'm glad you've got your guards, just in case.
Yeah, that's what the guards are for, but I wouldn't mind, it hasn't worked in a long time, and it's not really a valued treasure, but, it's kind of sentimental, mostly, so.
Sure, just show it to me.
Yeah, alright. And he... Yep.
I'm Flotsam, by the way. What are your names?
Give me a second. This is the usual thing.
Tally will always ask for NPC names.
Goodness, it's been so long since I had to do this. It's really hard to come to mind. The cult says, I'm Revy, as in, like, the sound an engine makes,
That's awesome.
And the stallion says, I'm just, Spectacle. You can call me a Spectacle.
Cool. Well, it's nice to meet you both. Thank you for being so nice. Not everyone is out here.
You have a service to offer, we need something done, that's how we get along in the wasteland.
Anyhow, yeah, just show it to me.
Alright, he leads you inside, this very, very small shack. It's got, like, kind of a main room, kitchen room combination, and then a couple, walls separate the bedrooms off to the side, and then, then a little bathroom area.
I like your house. It is nice.
Yeah, it's a little patronizing, but I'll take it.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Anyway, he kind of fishes out something from a sort of cupboard area, and pulls out this box, which he opens to reveal a very, very worn, 10mm machine gun.
Ooh. Yeah, it's seen better days. You had it for a long time, you say?
Oh yeah, it was a friend's and, well, it became mine.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But, other than that, it was a really, really good gun before that stuff happened, and I've still got plenty of ammo for it.
Awesome. Well, let me go take a look. Okay if I pick it up, yeah?
Oh yeah, go for it.
She,
I was about to, trade it in for scrap or whatever, but...
Oh, no, don't do that. It's still plenty usable. You just need some fixing, just at a glance, it looks like it just needs a few new parts. This part here is kind of worn away, and then this doesn't spin so good. She's actually sort of taken it out and is kind of inspecting it. From the way she handles it, it's pretty obvious that she knows her way around guns.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, let me just set this down somewhere. And she just puts it on the ground and starts unpacking some spare parts from her bag.
Here, let me sweep
Sorry?
away some of the stallion says, let me sweep away some of the dust in here.
She's actually just kind of zoning out of what he's saying because she's fixating on the gun.
Mm-hmm.
Would it be okay for me to roll a mechanics check to see if I can fix it?
Yeah.
And may I add in my freaky knowledge, weapons repair?
This is right up your alley. Go for it.
Yay! Watch now as I roll a natural one and destroy it.
That would kind of suck, yeah. Except you did no such thing.
27.
So, you find that with a bit of elbow grease and the broken gun parts, you have to replace a few key parts that are just not going to be... That really do need replacing outright. You should be able to get this to a mostly working condition. Certainly where it'll be able to fire again, not all the way back up to sterling condition, that your just repair skills aren't that impressive yet, but you can get this old thing working again. It'll probably take, hour and a half of work or so.
Yep, Flotsam just kind of sinks into it, just keeps working. Will kind of, if someone tries to get her attention, she'll kind of she'll kind of come out of her reverie enough to hear what they're saying, but for the most part, she's just completely focused on what she's doing.
All right, and both the stallion and the colt kind of hang out near you and make conversation while you work on it, because this is a very interesting skill you have, and they're kind of captured by it.
Cool.
Anyway, a while later, Zen Karn.
Yay!
Let's talk about you.
Yes.
Let's talk about where you've come from, where you're going, and why you're heading in the direction of the Badlands.
Okay. I guess I'll do what Flotsam did. I'm Zen Karn. I came from Glyphmark because I kind of broke the law on that one and I'm stuck with it. And I'm heading into the Maw because I'm interested in studying dragon magic and also looking for a new necromancer teacher. Because I am, unfortunately, still a junior necromancer.
Alright. Let's talk about your equipment.
Oh, God. Yep.
You're also actually pretty extremely low on caps. Flotsam's faring a little bit better than you because she's a cute filly and can get away with discounts and handouts. But you need to find just some new cash soon. You're at like 90 caps.
Woot.
You've also got 3 healing potions.
Muting when I type.
You've got about 4 meals worth of, scavenged food and water. So you've got enough food to get you through another day after today. You've also got your scythe. You've got a few books that you kept with you. Imagine books on necromancy or whatever you're currently interested in at the moment. You've got the materials and reagents for your necromancy rituals. You've got chalk. You've got a fairly extensive set of blood vials. You've got a collection of animal and pony bones, bits of flesh, and some animal meat.
Sweet.
And
I like the fact that my character was smart enough to get healing potions at some point.
and so you, about an hour after Flotsam had arrived, you also approach the gates of Greenfield, because it's getting very, very late, actually, and you kind of need a place to stay.
Fair enough. In that case, I will tug the cloak up, and I will approach the gate.
Tug the cloak up? You mean put the hood up, or?
Yes, yeah.
And why is that?
Because I'm a zebra, and I expect ponies to be super, super racist.
Alright. You approach the gate and, Pony kind of shines a light on you as you approach. Guard says, name?
Zen Karn.
Objective?
Somewhere to sleep for the night. I'm heading into the mall.
Alright. Are you willing to let us look through your equipment?
How much would it cost me for you not to do that?
Our privacy tax is 50 caps.
Sure. Sounds good.
Alright. Approach the gate and bring out those caps.
Will do. So I'll hand over 50 caps.
The guard taking your caps, attempts to kind of get a look under your hood to get a clearer view of your face. Do you want to make a stealth check to try and conceal yourself a bit more?
Sure, I have 5 stealth. What could possibly go wrong? 18.
Thankfully, it's kind of dead of night, and all they've got to go with are some, lanterns and magical lights. So, in the sort of shadow you're standing in, it's not too hard to. It's too hard for him to really make you out, other than that you seem to be kind of a lightish stallion. So, he eventually lets it drop and says, "Go on in.
Thank you.
Best of luck finding a place to stay."
I've slept on streets before.
You might have to.
And I'll head in, I guess.
Alright. You being kind of a bit more worldly, you can kind of tell automatically the whole state of the townsfolk, sort of thing. You notice that the few ponies you can see, because it's getting late, most of them have gone inside, but most you can see and hear are a bit, not well, or rather, the fit and adult part of the population seems to be kind of absent, save for the guards. Maybe just all the guards end up, those particular ponies end up being all the guards, or maybe something else.
I'll do what I normally do. Ignore it and head for the inn.
Alright. Roll...
Pay attention to it. It's not my problem.
Roll streetwise to tell what's supposed to be the inn from all these shacks.
Alright. Actually, I have fairly decent streetwise. I think this is also potentially the first time I've rolled streetwise ever. Natural 20.
You tell almost instantly that the only thing that could possibly be the end is the noisiest building on the street, where you can just hear tons upon tons of shouting.
Alright, I'll head there.
And as you approach the front of the shack, the door slams open almost on its hinges, and this rather rough-looking pony just gets thrown out by a couple of guards, just like, "Whoa, come on!" And this kind of older unicorn mare with the cutie mark of a bottle of booze and a knife just kind of struts out and growls, "I told you we ain't got any more room for the night, so you just find something else, make camp, do whatever, but we do not have any room."
Oh.
I'll
look at her. Oh, no, sorry.
No, if you want to jump in.
I was gonna say, I'll look at her and be like, excuse me, miss,
Just a second. Taking care of something.
Sorry.
And this very sort of greasy, dirty looking, earth pony just kind of growls and says, you're gonna cut. But then he sees that she's levitating up a knife and holding it very kind of dangerously in his direction, and with her 2 cards backing her up, this stallion doesn't really see much of an option for him, and he just starts walking away, muttering, "No frickin' generosity left in this frickin' hellhole of a world, just frickin', ugh."
He seems, pleased.
As pleased as a pony is gonna be when I tell him that they're gonna have to sleep out in the cold tonight.
I take it you're the innkeeper, then.
Oh, what gave you that idea?
We're standing out in front of an inn, and you're kicking people out.
Oh, I suppose that makes sense. You're not gonna try anything, are you?
Well, I was here to ask if you had somewhere I could sleep, floor, whatever. Just somewhere with a roof.
No, I got plenty of ponies sleeping on the floor as it is.
Do you have any ideas of where else I could try?
There's a shack near the wall that has an awning you can probably sleep under, if that spot's not already taken.
I'm sure if it is, whoever's there can come to a reasonable agreement.
Prefer you didn't kill anyone in town.
No, I wouldn't do that. That'd be terrible.
Terrorizing ain't exactly good karma either.
Oh, no. So which direction is the shack again?
She points in a direction.
Oh, in that case, I'll nod to her. Thank you, miss. And I'll head in that direction.
What's with the laughter?
Chrono Zephyr. That innkeeper, ex the executive OTP.
Really?
Yep. Apparently.
Apparently. Okay.
Anyway, yep, I'll head in that direction.
Okay. You make your way over to a section of the wall that kind of fits what the innkeeper just described, which is a part where the wall kind of leans and meets a point where the sort of roofing of this shack kind of extends past the wall, and it forms not really a whole lot, like kind of half of a dry spot that's still got plenty of dust and sand under it.
Anyone there currently?
Actually, no.
Oh. In which case, I will claim it as my own. By sitting down and pulling my scythe out and pulling out a book.
Alright. As you, get into your book, you hear another pony kind of approaching your spot, but when you hear them come to a point where they would have line of sight to you, they seem to notice the scythe sitting next to you and make their way somewhere else.
Reasonable.
Roll perception.
Sweet. Perception is 10. 24.
Nice. Your ear kind of flicks to one side as you think you hear some movement on the other side of the wall. And you hear kind of something hard and metal being placed on the other side, maybe. Some hooves scrambling around it.
Can I roll knowledge to see if I can identify the sound?
Just raw knowledge?
Okay.
Let's call it raw horse sense.
She is 7. Cool. Sounds? 26.
Nice.
I am apparently rolling really well today.
Yeah, you are. Goodness. Okay. Something tells you that whatever's sneaking around on the other side, and it does sound like they're sneaking around, and now moving away from whatever that sound was very fast. What's been put there is not nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna put my book back in mount my place, put my book back in my bag, and leave quickly in the opposite direction.
Several seconds later, there is an explosion, and the shockwave knocks you onto your face.
Ow.
There is shouting and clamoring as ponies start pouring through the hole in the wall that was just created.
I'll try and get up and I'll turn around to see what these ponies look like.
You're still dazed and actually covered by a bit of debris.
Oh.
But as some of them thankfully rush past you without noticing you, you see that they are decorated with many pony bones as armor and piercings, and their shouts are sort of enraged and cackling and probably not entirely sober.
My god, what kind of monster would wear pony bones as armor?
Whistles innocently.
Not now, not at this point in the timeline.
Indeed.
I didn't get the idea from sadists who ransacked town. No. Yeah.
This isn't your first time seeing a pony wearing pony bones as a fashion statement. And
yeah.
You also hear the sounds of power tools whirring up to life.
Well, I know my plan. Just get the hell out of here as fast as I can.
Flotsam, just as you sort of get the gun in working condition, you hear the explosion as well.
What? Like, I know explosions. That was an explosion.
That was... yeah, it came from a side of the town that's definitely not the gate, so, and pretty close by enough to probably be the wall.
She clicks the rotating barrel into place and thrusts the gun.
It's not a revolver, it's a magazine-loaded submachine gun.
Yep, that's totally what I said. And I thrust the submachine gun at Spectacle and say, "Load it up."
He understands as well and fetches the long ignored ammo, and he kind of fumbles with it as he tries to get it into the magazine slot.
You should stay here and hide. I'm gonna go see what it is.
And she flies very badly out the door, and then just takes to running instead.
Yeah, they turn the lights off, and they take to a corner with him holding the submachine gun very carefully. You head outside, and you can already see, you can definitely see that these are raiders, and they're spreading out through the town as quickly as possible. The guards are trying to combat against them, but they're not terribly well armed or armored, and in the chaos, they're kind of getting overwhelmed.
Oh no. No. Can I see any particularly dense clusters of raiders that are not too near to any of the buildings?
You can see about, looks like a group of 3 of them well, you see a scene in front of you, raiders heading into a building, and the denizens inside, kind of exiting out through a window and getting chased out by the raiders. And you see a group of 3 of them, once the building has been vacated, you see them, one of them lights up a spell to set the building on fire. And the other 2 kind of watch and cheer and jeer and taunt the other ponies running around in a panic, just in the center of town, trying to stir up as much a ruckus as possible.
Well, if they're inside a building, this does mean that any explosions will also damage the building.
They're like standing in the street in front of it.
Oh, excellent. That makes this even easier. She's going to flap up into the air. Her flying isn't as good as it is in the later sessions of FID, but she can still get airborne to get a good angle on them, and she throws one of her grenades.
The grenade tumbles in a arc that depends on your skill check. Let's call it precision.
Precision. And may I use my freaky knowledge explosives?
Certainly. You know how to do it just right to place it in the optimal position.
Plus 10, plus 5. Ooh, 40.
Yikes.
Oh no, sorry, it's 30, not 40, 30.
Yeah.
I said 15 when I was meant to say 5.
30.
It's a 30.
You get it dead center in the middle of them, and not only that, but let the grenade cook in your hoof long enough that before one of them can even see it and open their mouth to even begin shouting grenade, it already explodes, taking all 3 of them out, knocking them aside. They had no chance of survival. It exploded almost at, head level.
She kind of, breathes heavily and, looks around to check on the ponies who were chased out of the building.
They're still getting chased by a crazy, earth pony mare who seems to be chasing them with a power drill.
Flotsam is aware that she's going to have to ration her explosives.
Yes, you are down to 11 grenades.
I'm down to 11. So I'm going to go to the wreckage of the raiders I just exploded and see if there's anything usable that I can either fire or throw.
Let's see. You attempt to look through the saddlebags. On one side they were kind of vaporized by the grenade, but the other sides are intact. But as you're looking through, another of the raiders, a big old burly earth pony with what looks like a femur piercing his nose, kind of notices you and growls, like, "Hey, get off of them, Philly."
Get out of town, raider!
She flaps up to the roof.
Alright, let's do this. His horn, which looks like it has been sharpened to a fine point, and looks like it's been used to gore a pony recently, lights up with kind of this sick looking electricity, and it fires at you.
Oh, crud. Can I dodge?
You can roll to dodge.
Since I'm airborne, now I haven't, it's been a while since I have, flown without my extra flying skills. Okay, I'm going to take a -5 penalty to precision whilst flying, and I am flying. So, sorry, what did you say I was rolling?
Whatever your, let's see, is there a specific flying skill that you choose?
Acrobatics, usually?
Yeah, acrobatics. It is
so
dodging.
My acrobatics is 10, but I'll take a 5 penalty, so that'll be +5. 23 to dodge.
Oh, that is enough. You dodge out of the way of the lightning bolts and head into one of the alleys, which, fortunately, there's no other raider there to meet you, but the big guy behind you is quickly on your tail, firing another bolt at the wall behind you. Do you keep running?
Should I dodge again?
You don't need to dodge that one, but it's advisable that you probably start running.
She panics and kind of, starts flapping away.
Alright. Zen Karn, at this point, most of the raiders have passed you by, but a couple of them linger to sort of keep an eye on their escape, and also, start just breaking things nearest to the wall. And they notice behind some of the debris of the wall, they notice that, hey, I think there's a pony under here. Think he might still be breathing.
Ah, shit. I'm gonna try and struggle out.
You start, the debris kind of shakes off fairly easily, but you hear the hoof steps of the raider behind you pretty much closing in on top of you almost instantly.
Ah, crap. How many are there?
Only one that you can hear. There might be another one kind of close by. 2 at most.
In that case, I will aim a kick closest raider, and then, depending on what happens then, attempt to run away.
Give me an athletics check.
Oh, yay. 6. In before nat 1. Nat 1.
Ah, fudge.
I'm pretty sure I controlled the dice room for nat 1s.
God damn it.
Your kick ends up completely off the mark, and the raider just bowls you over entirely, pinning you under his body. You can see this raider, this unicorn, this very kind of young unicorn stallion, just grinning at you. His eyes kind of dilated as though he's been abusing some kind of substance recently.
Joy.
And he's grinning down at you, kind of taking a second to imagine all the ways he can kill you right now. And at this point, Flotsam comes barreling out of one of the alleys with, the big, nose-pierced brute right behind her. Flotsam, you see what looks like a raider pinning down a zebra.
Flotsam, and I'm going to have to say, this is kind of a fixed point in time, because I have mentioned past that when Flotsam and Zen Karn first met, she nearly blew him up. So, sees raider, sees zebra, thinks, oh crap, all that propaganda I read is true, the zebras are invading, yanks a grenade out of her saddlebag and lobs it at the two of them. I am going to... I'm going to say right now, based on plot armor, I'm going to have to say this is non-fatal damage I'm dealing to both of them, so if I can control it so that it goes off the mark and doesn't hit them directly.
Well, let's say that the grenade bounces off the raider's head and lands kind of behind him, to which he goes, wait, what? Before... And Zen Karn, you are also hit by the explosion, and you kind of black out.
Yay, unconsciousness. So soft.
Okay. And is the other one still following me?
He actually stops to laugh at the predicament that he stumbles upon, like, ha ha, Juicer got blown up.
She'll raise another grenade in her.
You want some?
Sure, just try it, little Philly.
And yeah, she is actually going to throw a grenade at him as well. It's like, I know I need to conserve these, but this guy is really dangerous and he needs to die.
Yes, that's 2 grenades you've used. This will be number 3.
Yep, I'm just marking that on the sheet. Is it, precision again?
Yeah.
Cool. Oh lord, stop that. Okay. Right. Precision plus freaky knowledge. Oh, I'm still airborne actually, so I'll take off freaky knowledge. 19.
Okay. I am also going to make a roll.
Damn it.
His horn lights up and a blast of force, impacts your grenade in mid-air, and it, gets bounced back a little bit towards you.
Flotsam's eyes go wide and she shoots upwards.
You managed to avoid getting caught in most of the blast, but it still the shockwave still hits you and kind of clips you a bit. And you lose balance and kind of land near Zen Karn. And the brute just laughs at the two of you. Zen Karn, the shockwave didn't really, totally knock you out. It just kind of made you lose consciousness for a few seconds, and you are in kind of a great amount of pain, but you are starting to rouse a bit as well.
Alright. I won't sit up, because I assume that's gonna
There is an exploded pony kind of laying on top of you, which took the brunt of the force of the grenade. And the shrapnel. But your lower legs are not feeling too good.
Yay. I look around to see if there's anyone else who's an immediate threat.
In front of you, there's a big ol' burly unicorn with what looks like a female pony's femur pierced through his nose.
Alright.
His nose. It's mixed up my pronouns there.
God. Yeah, we're not gonna have a minute for me to zombie this. Alright. I will activate, Eternal Flame enchantment, preparation time 5 seconds, create a magical heatless fire that lasts until you dismiss it. May only have 1 Eternal Flame active at a time. Where does that have to be?
Is that the wording there?
Yes.
I imagine it's probably a place you can reach.
Alright, in which case, I will activate Eternal Flame, and I will have the flame on the end of my hoof, and I'll point it at the raider, and I'll just be like, back off, or you're gonna burn with hellfire.
He actually, seeing your face completely illuminated by the magical flame, he actually kind of backs off a bit and says, "Whoa, oh, a zebra. I didn't think there were many of you in the equestrian wasteland." All right. Let's see if you've got any good fire in you. And his own horn lights up what looks like kind of a magical flame of his own.
Oh shit. Crap, I didn't expect him to call my bluff. Alright.
Flotsam, you're also there too.
I was gonna say, while this is happening, can she use Zen Karn as a distraction to stealth around behind the unicorn raider?
Yeah. If your stealth can pull it off.
Let me just check what my stealth is. I seem to recall it not being very good, but
I think your stealth is still
Oh, my
better than
stealth
mine.
is 10! Hell yeah!
Nat 20.
Nat 1! What?
No.
Right.
It's neither, it's right in the middle.
With a 20, you manage to slip away before he notices you're gone. And you can also basically maneuver around one of the buildings and get line of sight of him where he hasn't noticed you yet.
Kabum. I can have throw other grenade?
Yep, you can certainly do that. Although that'll be your 4th grenade of the night.
It will. Okay, my precision is 10. Freaky knowledge. I'm on the ground this time, so no penalty for flying. Oh, that was terrible. Can
17.
I need this to count. Can I please add my magic point to that?
You
Do
most
you want me to do it?
well, she's already doing it. Let's just,
Fair enough.
You, with 27, you kind of lob the grenade where it kind of just lands right between all four of his hooves, and he just hears the tinkling sound before he looks down and goes, "What?" And then, Zen Karn, you watch this raider get blown up from below. Bits of flesh and gore kind of landing on you. His horn full of fire kind of shorts out and fires off a magical firebolt into the air as he dies, but it affects nothing.
Alright. I will activate Mook and try and summon a zombie.
Alright.
Preferably using the corpse of the one that's on me, if there's still enough of a corpse left.
He's pretty blown up, but there is enough of a corpse to do things with. Doesn't have most of his head left, but
That's fine.
his limbs are in decent enough shape.
Yeah, I need him to be a walking stick, less than I need him to bite people.
While Zen Karn is doing this, Flotsam is going to flap awkwardly over. You kinda helped there. Thank you. Are you okay?
I'll be alright. I'll be right in a minute. Thank you for killing him.
Zen Karn, you
Appreciate it.
can feel yourself as you try and get the ritual going. You can feel yourself kind of blacken out a little bit. Your wounds are catching up with you.
Oh, damn it. I need to stay conscious just a little bit longer. Got anything that could keep me awake?
Has Flotsam gotten over her prejudice yet?
Flotsam is looking very kind of,
Zebra, I know, evil, yada yada. Something to keep me awake, please.
You distracted him, so okay. And, she'll pull out one of her bandages and apply it.
You need to use up pretty much the whole roll to kind of cover his legs and the other bits of him that got hit by shrapnel and got kind of broken by the force, but in short order the bandages start to do their work, and Zen Karn, you can feel the bleeding halt, and your skin and bones start to mend down there. Not terribly quickly, because it's a bandage and not a full potion, but...
She works quickly and slightly clumsily in her panic, and kind of, as she's finishing up, saying, "Oh, okay, but, you'd better not be evil or anything like that."
Promise not to be evil to you. Close enough, right?
So you're not with the raiders or anything, right? I mean, you were fighting with them, so...
Me and most ponies don't exactly get along. Let's put it that way.
Around you can hear the sounds of gunfire and screaming and burning.
Oh, this is bad, this is bad. I don't have that many grenades left. I don't think I can drive them off.
Wait, we're not gonna win this one, little one. We need to go. We need to get out.
Well, you have to get out too, right?
Yeah. How close is my zombie to being done?
Flotsam, you see the body on top of him, the very clearly dead body on top of Zen Karn, start to move off of him.
It's still alive. How's it still alive? It doesn't have a head. How's it still alive? What?
It's not really alive. I'm moving it with magic. I needed a crutch, and zombies are a zebra's best friend in that regard. But we really need to get moving.
Our eyes go wide.
Now.
Yeah, okay. She'll actually start to help Xencarn, get, one of his legs over the zombie.
Yep. And then start moving off, I guess.
Alright. The zombie limps forward, at a unsteady pace. The damage still kind of affecting its movement, but it can pull itself together enough to help you all walk along.
Flotsam does quickly scavenge anything while, Zen Karn is limping along.
Yes.
She's going to quickly scavenge anything she can from the wreckage.
Looting the bodies, yes. You loot the big guy and get actually a fairly decent amount of caps, about 250 or so. You also find, let's see. You also find, I need to make a loot table, actually, I realized.
You'll have fun with those.
You also find, some bits of, food and whatnot, as well as a collection of rather sharp implements.
Cool.
And then as you're kind of making your way, out, and you could escape fairly simply now through the hole left behind by the raiders, you start hearing this pow, 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 and some stallion shout and go, yeah, take that! And you recognize it, Flotsam, as, Spectacle.
Her eyes go wide.
You need to keep going. Be safe, okay?
Wait, where do you think you're going?
There's some ponies who helped me and they're in trouble.
Look, little one, trust me, not worth going back in raided territory for someone you barely know. We need to get out or we're gonna get surrounded, and I don't think you have infinite explosives.
Actually, though, some of the chaos in the distance seems to be subsiding, and you can actually hear things getting a little quieter as the gunshots keep firing.
Look, I've seen raiders before. Sometimes they're just, really quick raids, just for fun. We just need to keep him alive until it's over. Look, you don't have to come with me. You don't know me. Like you said,
yeah,
no point
I
in
do.
risking yourself for someone you only just met.
Unfortunately, you healed me, and you're a child, so yes, I do. Lead the way. I'll do what I can from here. Well, from my current condition.
She nods and flaps off towards sound of Spectacle firing his submachine gun.
Alright, Flotsam, you flap on ahead and see that, you land on one of the roofs nearby and see that Spectacle's kind of hunkered down and firing the submachine gun in bursts, at a group of raiders that have taken cover in the inn, actually. Most of the ponies inside have either evacuated or gotten murdered. And so he's just kind of shooting at them from behind cover.
Does he look like he's in imminent danger from them?
They're firing back with, one of them has a shotgun and another one has, a pistol. But they're kind of bouncing off this kind of wall of sandbags he's got set up.
She kind of looks between the two, and then, flaps over back to Zen Karn.
Hey, Mr. Zebra Person, that zombie thing you can do. Can you do that more than once?
Oh yeah, I can do it. I can do it a couple of times, yeah.
Can you do it over there to scare the raiders in the inn?
Yeah, I can definitely do that. It's been a while since I've, let them eat. Sure. I'll start summoning a mook.
Alright. You, at Flotsam, you hear, kind of from Spectacle.
She, goes,
I need to go and you just summon the zombies, okay? I'll check in with you in a bit.
and she,
Yeah,
flaps over to Spectacle and kind of tries to zoom in behind the sandbags to join him.
You manage to get behind there before you get shot, but one of his hooves is bleeding pretty badly.
Hold still.
And I'll use my second bandage roll on him.
And he just kind of grunts and says, "Got a lot of them, but I don't know where the rest are, and that's the most powerful ones in there."
I think some of them have moved on already, but, listen, if you start seeing dead corpses reanimate, don't worry, they're not coming for you.
What?
It's not me, it's, well, you'll see. Is Revy safe?
Before he can really answer, the time of Xencarn's ritual is up, and you see and hear you're behind cover, so you hear a groaning sound, and the sound of something rising up from digging itself out of the ground in the middle of the street. This very, 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 very aged pony corpse, almost no skin on it left, drags itself out of the center of the street, and the gunfire comes to a halt, and you hear the raiders inside the building go, "What? What the hell? No, they can't. What the fuck?" And
Flotsam is peering over the side of the sandbag to see this.
And you watch as the raiders kind of unload their ammunition into the zombie. I imagine, Zencarn, you'll try and make it approach.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, it can't fight, but yeah, it can just walk threateningly towards them.
It walks threateningly towards them, seemingly ignoring the ammunition they pump into it, these slugs from the shotgun and those little 9mm bullets from the pistol. And it makes it all the way to the front door before the raiders start just kind of, in a panic, just kind of hacking away at it with melee weapons.
While they're distracted hacking at it, I'll make another one if I can, to keep wasting their time.
Flotsam, you notice that a couple of raiders coming back from one of the other shacks, kind of chasing after some of the townsfolk or whatever, getting back into the middle street, they see the commotion and see that they're fighting a zombie that just doesn't seem to be going down, and they kind of get frozen there, terrified. And then, from close to the spot in the ground where the first zombie muck had popped out of, a second one starts crawling out as well, the second zombie. And this makes pretty much every raider in the area just flip out. Some of them shouting, "Ah! This town's haunted! Get the hell out! Get the hell out!" And they just start running and running, just shoving past the zombie and just dashing out of town as fast as they can.
Flotsam breathes a very heavy sigh of relief.
Okay. So is Revy safe?
Yeah, he's still inside. They didn't get to him.
Good. And how's your hoof? Is the bandage working okay?
Yeah, it's, it pulled the bullet out, and I think it's starting to kind of heal.
Okay.
Been a while since I got shot.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I guess I brought some bad luck with me today. I gotta go check on something.
And she, runs off to find Zen Karn.
Zen Karn, you've now finished with your rituals, and now your mooks are just kind of wandering around town. Just, kind of very slowly chasing after, in vain, the raiders who ran off.
Come back.
I just want to hug you. I doubt Xencarn's moved from wherever Flotsam put him last time.
Yeah, not really.
He kind of comes to a halt, skids to a halt in front of you, and just kind of, stops and gasps for breath, just kind of getting the wind back in her, and then kind of looks up with this incredibly bright grin.
That was awesome!
Thanks. You've sorted out your stuff. We should probably be heading off.
You hear, once the, townsfolk confirm that the raiders have gone, they choose some of them fire off some shots to keep them discouraged, but then they start working to try and put out the fires in town.
You don't want to stay?
No. Town that's been breached once, well, who knows when they're gonna come back.
I need to stay somewhere tonight. It's getting kind of late. I don't know if we can reach another settlement before nightfall.
There's pretty much, there's not much else between here and Dodge Junction, which is quite a ways away.
Alright. Alright, we'll stay the night here, and then we need to head off. This town isn't safe. Not if it's got a giant gap in its wall now.
Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna see if there's any decent drops from the raiders who died. Do you want me to bring stuff back for you?
Oh, Yeah, that would be lovely. Thank you, little one.
Yeah.
I'm going to the inn and see if they've got some rooms free now. Or floor, whichever.
Well, my friends might be able to, I'll count with you. And it's Flotsam, by the way.
Of course. Zen Karn.
Nice to meet you. I'm sorry I exploded you.
You wouldn't be the first.
Okay, I'm gonna go loot.
Have fun.
And she's actually going to fly in the direction of the inn, to see if any of the raiders dropped dead there.
It looks like there were a couple that Spectacle managed to take out, and a few more in the street as well that he got with the surprise burst. It looks like.
Okay, I'll see if there's anything worth taking from them, caps mostly. But if they happen to have any weapons or what have you.
None of them seem to have very much, but between all the bodies you loot, you managed to put together about 112 caps.
Okay. In which case, she returns to Spectacle and gives him 60 of them.
Hey, these were on some of the raiders that you managed to shoot down.
Oh, thanks, I guess. It's been a while since I've split loot with any pony. Did I? Thanks for repairing the gun.
Yeah, I'm just glad I could help.
I think it just saved the town.
Really?
Well, there aren't a whole lot of guns in town, and they were better equipped than we were, but I managed to surprise them, and then that whole zombie thing. We might have, I guess it's between this gun, those grenades, and those zombie things. Ugh. But they did the job.
Yeah, that was amazing. Okay. The pony, the person who made the zombies happen to scare off the raiders, I think he could use a place to stay for the night as well. I was wondering if there might be room for him here too, or, well, I suppose he was also going to check the inn and see if they have any, vacancies now. Which I suppose they might.
Let's figure that out once we deal with the fallout
Cleaning
from
up
this.
after their mess?
Yeah, we gotta make sure the village doesn't burn down as well, and count up our dead and their dead.
Yeah. I'm gonna go see if I can help patch up that hole in the wall that they blew.
Yeah, there might be a few stragglers. I'm gonna go around and check. He starts to get up, and his hoof is just good enough to walk on now, and he starts to make his way with his gun in his mouth.
Okay, be careful.
Well, you too.
And she's going to fly over to the wall where the breach occurred.
Yep, that looks like an exploded bit of wall. It looks like it was also probably the weakest part of it as well.
Looks around to see if there's anyone attending to it yet, or if it's possible that everyone's still busy putting out fires, of course.
Yeah, putting out fires right now.
Yep. I'm gonna start gathering any kind of loose material I can find.
There's plenty of debris from the broken wall.
Yeah, exactly. I'll start gathering that up.
And from some of the buildings that have been broken apart as well.
Yep. I'll start gathering it all together in a pile, add my own scrap metal to it, and start to kind of look at how the gaping hole can kind of be fortified.
Well, with that material, you can, I don't know, probably wouldn't be able to make it sturdier than it was. Most you could do is patch it up, but at least you could make it a complete wall, and it couldn't be forced down with like a shove or anything.
Okay.
You basically just kind of patch it up so that none of the dust gets through, and that, I mean, someone could probably blow it up again later, but at least you can patch it up, and then later you can try and find stuff to reinforce it. But with what you've got, that's all you can do.
Okay. She just works on the patch job for now then.
All right. Zencarn, you notice, the raiders are gone, but you notice, you can hear the sound of some of the ponies in town freaking out at the sight of 2 zombies just kind of wandering out of the gates.
Nah, they'll be fine.
Okay.
Well, I have my zombie support. The other 2 can just wander. I mean, it's not like they're gonna do anything.
Yeah, they pretty much just follow out of town in the direction the raiders went. And the townsfolk just kind of watch in awe, kind of keeping an eye on them as if to say, and, stay out or something, I guess.
The zombies are unable to care. Or in true Telltale fashion, the zombies will remember that.
Except it affects nothing and doesn't actually matter. Anyway.
Yeah, in which case, I'll also make my way over to the inn. And I'll also
still using the zombie crutch?
Still using the zombie crutch. And I will also scavenge bodies, but I'll be looking more for ritual materials than, other stuff.
There's plenty of, spare bones, bits of flesh, pools of blood.
Anything a good necromancer needs. So just double all my current stuff, or?
Yeah, there's certainly plenty of materials to go around.
And it's not like they're gonna want it.
Certainly, no one else. You can already see that some of the other townsfolk have kind of nicked any useful supplies or weapons, but they're certainly not going to. They certainly haven't claimed dibs on those materials.
Oh, mine now.
So you can pretty much, you can fill up the rest of your empty vials of blood and pretty much, with a bit of kind of working around to get the bones free and clean, you can stock up pretty safely on your reagents.
Yay! Well, that's always a plus. So yeah, once I've gotten all that kind of stuff, I'll wander into the inn and look to see if the innkeeper's still alive.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of ponies, in this building that aren't dead.
My favorite type of pony. Somewhat. So who is still alive?
Anyone who's alive is... There might be a couple ponies hiding in the rooms still, but just kind of cowering, but, sorry. Everyone who's alive is out kind of putting out fires right now.
Alright, I'll raise my roof that's still on fire and sort of wave it around for light, keep it on for light. I will... So what's the inside of the inn actually look like? Like, what's in there?
It's pretty packed full of kind of bed frames and mattresses. There are a few wings off to either side with actual rooms. This seems to have been kind of like a boarding house or something.
Fair enough. In that case, I will go over to the nearest bed, nearest 2 beds, and dump the corpses off them and take a seat.
You take a seat on a somewhat recently bloodstained mattress.
Nah. I'll leave the zombie standing by the bed, and I'll sort of lay down, keep weight off the leg, and because Flotsam said she was coming to find me, and I don't really intend to steal anything from this place, so I'll open up one of my books and continue to read from where I left off.
You manage to get through kind of most of a chapter before you start to hear hoof steps coming back in, and you notice the mayor, the innkeeper from earlier, and she just kind of walks in and stares at you, and stares at the zombies standing guard over you. She has kind of very angry look on her face, but she's also kind of conflicted.
I won't look up. I'll keep reading. And I'll just wave in the general direction of the door.
She squints and says, "Is my gut on the money that you're the zebra that scared off the raiders?"
I flip a page and I say, Is there any other zebra in town?
That's unholy stuff you're playing with.
Hey, if it was good enough for pre-war Equestria, it's good enough now. Plus, it's not like, and I sort of reach over and pat the zombie. It's not like it's gonna hurt anyone.
So you say.
No, like, seriously, it can't.
I'll just take your word for it, will I? But, at least help me get the bodies out of here.
Alright, give me a sec. I finish my page and I mark my place, put my book away, and get up.
And as you get up, you hear her kind of mutter, "Lazy asshole."
Oh! Ponies and then name calling. I'll direct the zombie to start pulling bodies off the beds, and I'll start pulling bodies off the beds, I guess. Wincing. Because I assume my legs still hurt.
And she says, "Now I'm gonna take this and your little distraction out there as payment, otherwise I'd take everything you got."
Pony, I am not in the mood for your threats, but I appreciate that, thank you. And I'll keep working.
It's not like we don't have vacancies now. Why the frack would the Skullfaces raid our village? It doesn't make any sense.
Do you have anything here? From what I can see, it's pretty small and pretty defenseless.
Well, sometimes when we got some lucrative traders coming through, then I'd guess it might be a good time to strike, but this was not a good week for us. Most of our guards are off on some kind of mission, so.
Well, that's probably why they attacked, because they knew most of your guards weren't here.
Well, we still had a full, I say guards, and what I mean is our, fitting, you're right still. But I mean, it's not like all of them are guards all year round. That was just, we still had a full staff, but we didn't expect them to blow up the frickin' wall. Or even or for a part of the wall to even be weak enough to blow up. But, I mean, I guess it's not that great.
Who knows how long they've been messing with it to get to this point.
That's a scary thought, too.
Can Flotsam arrive at this point, any chance?
Yeah, you've put some decent work into the wall, and it's starting to actually tire you out, so.
You guys talking about the wall?
No, a little one. Yeah.
You're the filly that was throwing grenades, right?
I was only throwing them at the raiders.
Well,
and also Zen Karn, but mostly the raiders.
You two have been introduced, right?
That's Zen Karn. I'm Flotsam.
No, I was actually asking you out of character. Like, you've actually said your names?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we did.
Oh yeah, we have. I tried to patch up the wall. It's not really reinforced at the moment. It could probably be broken through quite easy, but it'll keep the dust out for now. It'll need to be looked at more carefully.
Suppose that's all we can ask for right now. Sounds like we got most of the fires put out, and well, less ponies died than probably should have tonight.
Still. None should have died at all.
Yeah.
I'm sorry you guys got hit.
Well.
It's weird though. I was talking to Spectacle earlier. He said that you guys hardly ever get hit.
Well, we don't. That's why this was kind of a surprise, but it's not like we haven't had, few raged up raiders try and hit us every so often. I mean,
they did seem slightly drunk when they came in.
But this was bigger than anything we usually get. I mean, just a bigger gang than,
I wonder how come.
I don't know, maybe Skullfaces thought we had something worth taking here.
Skullfaces?
Yeah.
Is that what they're called?
Yeah, they're a bigger raider gang, based up, corners of the Eastern Everfree.
Ugh.
Living dangerously, then?
Yeah, they're fairly hardcore as raiders go, and kind of have claimed a bunch of the northern part of the Rambling Rock Road.
Well, that's gotta make traveling kind of difficult.
Well, if you're heading towards the mall, you're heading south, so maybe...
You got a lot of ponies coming to travel to the moor? I can't talk today. Do you get a lot of ponies passing through here going to the mall?
It's either you do that or either you do that or you go through the Macintosh Mountains or through that forest on the eastern side that's burned up. But it's like if you're trying to go on by the major roads, you go through Dodge Junction and you go along Rambling Rock. You go south. That's how most ponies get to Flame Tongue.
That's right. Whitetail Woods would be around here, wouldn't it? Man, I really want to go to Whitetail Woods out of character.
Actually, I don't think it's Whitetail Woods. I think that's a different part.
Whitetail Woods is amazingly dangerous.
No, I think we just call it the I think they just call it the Hayseed Forest. It's next to a big old swampland on the eastern coast.
Oh yeah, I know the one you're talking about.
Because the map of Equestria is an amazing thing that exists.
It is.
The Whitetail is west of Ponyville, and we are down to the southeast. Whitetail is west. It's in the opposite direction. Yeah.
I know, you just sent burned forest, and for some reason it was the first thing that came to mind. Yep. Cheese and stuff. How are we going with the, body dumping?
You got most of them kind of piled up and pushed out the door, and that seems to be good enough for the innkeeper. Who's just like, well, that's as much as I want to deal with that.
Should we burn them?
Well, they'll get collected up and either buried or burned, whatever the town agrees on, I suppose. But, ponies gotta mourn first.
Yeah.
That you do. Well, if we're done doing that, I go back to my bed, call back over my god, and go back to reading.
The unicorn mayor, just kinda grumbles and looks over at Flotsam. So that's your friend, huh?
I don't know. Kinda? Yes. Hey, Zen Karn.
What's up?
Are you my friend?
Well, you did blow me up, and then saved my life, so, yes?
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's my friend.
Well, are you looking for a room too?
I was gonna stay with Spectacle and Revy.
They're not dead. They're still alive?
Well, it was actually really good timing. I fixed Revy's submachine gun for him right before the raider attack.
Oh, that explains a lot, actually.
Yeah? You guys don't have so many guns here, huh?
Not a whole lot. Noticed a lot of our guards have not much else to work with but sharpened sticks and makeshift armor.
Yeah. Well, I've got some spare parts. I don't suppose you guys have any, guns that don't work that maybe I could fix for you.
Well, that was the one major one. I think the rest of them are still in good condition.
Okay.
So, she just sighs and says, I'm gonna go check around. Please don't blow up the place while I'm gone.
No, I'm running low on grenades. No, I wouldn't do that.
Hopefully our merchant's still alive, so you can maybe sell those spare parts to us. That'll be good.
She kind of smiles slightly and nods.
And she sighs and heads out the door to the inn.
At
which point... Sorry?
No, you go.
Flotsam will, trot over to Zen Karn and just kind of blink at him.
I'll look at my book, look at Flotsam, and then immediately mark my place and put my book away.
So, are you going to the Dragon's Maw too?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've got some, study to do and some stuff to find. How come you're heading out there?
Uh-huh. She looks hopefully at you.
Well, I assume... Can't really let you travel by yourself, can I? Well, we may as well travel together then.
Yay! She actually jumps up and gives you a hug.
I'll sort of pat her on the back.
It's not that I'm scared or anything. It's just, oh my gosh, they're zombies.
Yeah, they're something.
Plus, I almost got you blown up, so I should really make sure that you don't get killed. So I can blow stuff up for you now.
That would be appreciated. I'm not gonna lie. That would definitely be appreciated.
We'll need to stop somewhere so I can get more grenades, though. I'm down to 8. That's not a good... No, I need to have more than that.
That's fair. I'm sure there's a couple more towns and stuff along the way. If not, we can always just scavenge. I mean, heck, I could really do with some more caps and food.
Oh, that reminds me. She pulls out her baggie of caps and pours out half of them and sort of hoofs them over to Zen Karn.
This is your share.
Oh, I look at them and I'm like, are these caps you got from the raiders?
Well, most of them are from that really big one that you distracted so I could blow him up.
Oh. I take like quarter of them and I push the rest back. I'm like, I'll just take the ones from him. You keep the rest. I didn't really do very much in this particular
Sure you did. You zombied.
fight. You sure? Caps aren't exactly, easy to come by most of the time.
Well, we'll be traveling together anyhow and we'll look out for each other.
Yeah, you're right.
So she pushes 151 caps at you.
Yay, money. I put them in the saddlebag pouch. Thank you.
Sure.
Alright. So, the rest of the sort of repairs and restoration and dealing with the aftermath kind of goes well into the night. Ponies have to try and wash off the blood and relocate ponies who had their houses destroyed. But eventually and fitfully, the town tries to slumber while the guards go back on watch, this time with extra vigil and with all the good weapons in the hands of able ponies throughout the night.
Flotsam bids goodnight to Zen Karn at the inn and will go and stay with Spectacle and Revy if their offer is still open.
Their offer is still open, and in fact they are incredibly grateful.
Yay.
Yes, I have to say that between your repair work, Xencarn, zombies, and the grenades and whatnot at the right times, maybe not 100% save the town, but pretty close to it. Like, I mean, as far as like who gets credit, but
Flotsam has a little trouble drifting off to sleep just because of general worry about what happened and what might happen in the future. But once she does drop off, she sleeps pretty soundly.
Actually, while you're still kind of tossing and turning,
sure.
Revy kind of turns on one of the lamps and kind of says, "Hey,
Yeah?
hey, Flotsam. So you're heading to the mall, right?
Uh-huh.
Well, I don't know much about the mall, but I've heard some. I thought you might like something to help get you sort of through like getting there, like to Dodge Junction and whatnot. So I decided I wanted to kind of draw up a map for you.
Really?
Yeah.
That would be really helpful.
Yeah,
Thanks, Raggy.
He reaches behind his back and pulls out this map that he drew.
Let's have a look.
Oh. So she takes a look at it.
Okay, so we got Greenfield here, that's us. The railway tracks lead along here. There's the Appalachian Hills and the Macintosh Mountains down here in the southwest. And then the Hayseed Forest over here on the east. And then Rambling Rock Road. That's the one that's kind of... The innkeeper said that Rambling Rock Road has a lot of the Skullface gang of raiders along it.
To the north of Dodge Junction. To the south, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Maybe.
Well, the south is where we need to go to get to Flame Tongue.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Sorry, I just noticed it has distance scales are for nerds. I love it.
Okay, so it does look like we'll need to follow... The best thing to do would be to follow the railway line along to Dodge Junction. Cool. Hey, that's really helpful. Thank you.
She leans over and gives him a quick hug.
Yeah. Best I could do for you saving my dad.
I didn't really. He did it himself, you know? He's the one who, shot all those raiders.
Yeah, my dad's pretty cool.
He is. Hey, Revy?
Yeah?
Do you have any idea why they would attack you today?
I don't know. I don't know much about raiders or really much of the town. I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe they just thought it might be a good day, I guess. I don't know, it's raiders. Maybe they just thought they just wanted to have some fun.
Yeah. That was really stupid idea of fun. Okay. I guess I'm just worried bad luck really is following me. But I'm sure it's just a coincidence.
What, you think the raiders attacked because you got into town?
No, not really. Just, I don't want to bring bad luck on anyone.
Okay. Well, I understand that.
Anyhow, thanks again. I guess I'll try to get some sleep now. Zen Karn and I'll probably leave tomorrow morning.
Yeah, well, thanks for everything, I guess.
Yeah.
And good night.
Good night.
She folds up the map carefully and puts it in her saddlebags.
And Revy returns to his bunk in the other room. And
Flotsam settles down to sleep.
I guess Zen Karn settles down to sleep in the inn. The much sadly roomier inn.
Hey, I got a room. Much for me.
Well, you didn't really get a room. You got kind of one of the communal beds in the grand hall.
Well, it's still better than sleeping under the wall.
That is true. It's much softer. Still kind of bloody though.
It's not my blood, so it's fine.
And with that incredible ending, I'd say this is as good a place as any to end session 1 of Fallout is Dragon's dynamic duo.
Woo!
Our little prequel mini-campaign.
Yay! Thank you, Spud.
Looking forward to seeing how this goes.
Me too.
I think this was about exactly as fun as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I had fun. You did
That
good.
was good.
Yeah, I like how you two ended up kind of contributing very crucially to the town surviving, even though it looked like you guys were just going to bail on it.
If I had my way, we would have bailed on it real hard.
That is true.
So you
This
could
way we
thank
got a
Flotsam.
map.
Yes, and
Yay, maps.
yeah, indeed, map. I will put that image up. Try to put that image up on the stream.
Tumblr?
And the Tumblr, yeah. Because it's actually like one of the better maps I've made for this.
Yeah, it's a good map.
Oh, it is. So I take it as a mini campaign. This is going on for 6 months rather than like a year and a half, right?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's basic. It's a much smaller area to cover, even though it'll probably take. This'll probably be quite a few. Not like 40 sessions or anything for this, because it's not so much ground to cover. But it'll be a few weeks we do this. More than a few.
Yay.
3 months down the line.
and
Are we meant to end this? Meh.
It could be 3 months. I mean, that's not even a whole lot of sessions. And of course, on the map doesn't mark everything that's there, just the kind of the major areas and places. But
I love how there's a few where I forgot.
I forget. Yeah.
That's reasonable.
Oh, should we do a sign-off, or is that... do we not bother with that?
We might as well. And it's just going to be you two.
I vote not doing it.
God damn it, Z.
Well, you can do the easy part, or maybe I'll do the hard part. I don't know.
Up to you.
No, it's not up to me. It's up to you.
Oh, damn it. So it's just the typical. This is Fallout is Dragon's dynamic duo,
This has been dynamic duo.
Fair enough. This has been dynamic duo.
Join us next time when we eventually leave Greenfield.
And head towards, I guess, Dodge Junction. Although whether you'll get there and get all the way there next session, I'm not sure.
I'm sure we'll get distracted. We're very good
How
at
hard
being
could it
distracted.
be?
How hard could it be? Yes.
Ooh, look, shiny!